Good evening. So, welcome to yet another session under the Ask Me Anything series. Okay. Hi, Kavita. Good evening. So, today is going to be an interesting topic. Okay. Might be slightly different, but an interesting topic. Uh, so, so these sessions happen every Tuesday at 9 p.m. IST. And today we are going to discuss about the importance of Vata. You would have heard about Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So today we'll just see how important Vata is. How much of importance Vata has been given in Ayurveda. Okay, I've taken a few references also from Ashtanga Hridaya and Sharngasara Samhita so that, it will be slightly poetic too for you to understand. Okay, so shall we start? So they said, the Hemvaidya, thanks a lot. Okay, so the tridosha origin, okay, you've got the Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So the tridoshas have basically come from the Panchamahabhuta theory, and Panchamahabhuta theory is the base on which all the Shastras from the Eastern philosophy, from the Indian, you have got, we call that 64 kalas, 64 different kinds of science and arts which we have got in India. And the base for everything is the Panchamahabhuta. So all of this, dance is one, construction, that means Vastu is another one, astrology, that's another thing. If you look at music, anything you take, everything has basically started from the Panchamahabhuta, the principles. And it's Ayurveda is not different. It's also come from the Panchamahabhuta theory. But as far as Ayurveda goes, to make it simple, things which similar qualities have been reclassified. So Vata, Pitta, Kapha is something which you don't see anywhere. It is exclusive for Ayurveda. Got it, right? So of the Panchamahabhutas, Akasha and Vayu, space and air have been classified because they have almost got similar qualities. Not typically similar, but almost similar qualities. So they have been reclassified as Vata. So when we say reclassified, it doesn't mean that Vata does not consist of the other three elements. No, it is all about predominant. So Vata is predominantly Akasha and Vayu. It's also got Agni, Jala and Prithvi. Okay, but it's predominantly. Now when you look at Pitta is predominantly Agni, little bit of Jala. Okay, and so it's predominantly Agni with other Bhutas also. But when you look at Kapha is predominantly Jala and Prithvi, with Agni, Akasha and Vayu also there. So it's all about predominance. So this is how the Panchamahabhutas have been reclassified as Vata, Pitta and Kapha for Ayurveda. Now, this is a very interesting shloka from Ashtanga Hridaya Nidana, the 15th chapter, when they discuss about Vata Rogas. Okay, how do you understand Vata and how is Vata very important? This is a very interesting shloka. I'll go through it. So, Sa Vishwakarma Vishwatma Vishwarupa Prajapati. Okay, Srashta Dhata Vibhu Vishnu Samharta Mrityurantakaha. So this is basically the adjectives. This is how Vata is being addressed by Vagpata. Sa means Vata. Okay, what is it? Vata is Vishwakarma. It is a universal doer. Okay, Vishwatma. It is a universal soul. Vishwarupa, the universal form. And Prajapati, the universal Lord. So these are the way it has been described, and what all actions does it does. Vata, look at this. It is Srashta Dhata Vibhur Vishnu Samharta Mrityurantakaha. Srashta is basically Srishti. It creates. Okay. Dhata means it gives, it preserves. And Vibhu means what? It is all powerful. Vishnu means what? It is pervading everywhere. Vishnu is, even though we call Vishnu the one of the Trimurtis, the word meaning of Vishnu means it is all pervading. Okay. And then what? Vishnu, Samharta. Samharta is that which destroys or kills, And Mrityu is death, and Antakaha is the concluder. So Vayu, So Vata has been given so much of importance here. You'll understand from this. So if this Vata is not taken care of, the whole body, okay, the whole universe. For us, the universe is the body and our surrounding. Everything will get destroyed. So that much of importance has to be given to Vata. Okay. One more thing. Okay. Pittam pangu kapam pangu pangavo maladhatavaha vayuna yatra niyante tatra gachanti megava. This is from Shamgada Samhita. So you look at the Pittam Pangu. Pangu means handicapped. Okay. Pittam Pangu. Pittam is handicapped. Kapam Pangu. Kapam is also handicapped. Pangavo Maladhatava. The malas and the dhatus, the tissues and the excretory thing, everything is handicapped. Why? It cannot move at all. Then what? Vayuna yatra niyante. Yatra means where. Niyante means takes it. Vayuna. Where Vata can take those. Okay. Tatra gachanti. There only they can go. Meghavat, like the clouds. Clouds cannot move. Clouds, they are there in the sky. Wherever the Vata take, it can go, right? That is how the whole body is also. Vata is the one which is responsible for all the movements in the system. Hope you are clear with it. So much of importance has been given. If see anything that moves in this world is because of Vata. Okay. Now, types of Vata. Vata has been divided, but has been classified into 5. Okay. Prana, Udana, Vyana, Samana, and Apana. And this classification has been done in this with respect to the site where these 5 are, and being in that site, what actions they do, what activities they do. But by and large, Vata is only one. So just because of their activities or the functions they perform, they have been classified into Prana, Udana, Vyana, Samana, and Apana. Prana is the one, which is in the Murta, which we breathe. Uchwasa. Udana is the one what? Is basically which moves through the nose, which is responsible for the intellect, okay, or our, strength and all those things. Vyana is the one which moves all around the body, all the finer movements, hands moving, leg moving, eyelids moving, everything is because of Vyana. Samana is the one which helps in the digestion. The movement of food and all those things in the digestive is because of Samana. And Apana is basically responsible for excretion. Okay. So all the movements which happen in the body is regulated by, it happens because of Vata. Okay. So you may start preparing your questions. Okay. So karma, look at the karma of Vata. The main job is movement. Okay, includes transportation also. So what does it transport? It transports the food we eat after you eat the food. Okay, if the activity of picking food, moving the fingers to pick food is because of Vata. You bringing it to your mouth is because of Vata. You chewing, that movement is because of Vata. You're swallowing it, that movement which goes inside is because of Vata. Okay, so anything where you see movement and that food after digesting, if it has to reach to different parts of the body, that is also because of Vata. Okay, so the food and the medicine, if it has to reach different parts of the body, it's because of Vata. Now, Lakshanas and symptoms. What all symptoms do you see if Vata is deranged? Okay, all kinds of pain, pricking pain, cutting pain, twisting pain, all pains are because of Vata Vishesha. You feel light. The light feeling is because of Vata. Cool feeling is because of Vata. Okay, rough, your skin gets dry. If the weather is cool, you see that your skin starts getting rough. That is because of Vata. If you feel numbness or tingling sensation in your hands or legs or any part of the body, okay, even in the neck, even the head, tingling sensation or numb feeling is because of Vata. Okay, so and then what movements? If you've got restriction in movement, you are not moving well. Any movement, if it is restricted, is also because of Vata. Okay, so these are basically the basic principles of how important Vata is and what all Vata does. And as doctors, what we do is we try to see which dosha has actually, because when you study whole of Vata, Pitta and Kapha, you would have actually covered the whole body, and all the functions. So once I've just given an overview right now. So once you are thorough with this, then you will be able to find out where the imbalance is. Okay, so you can start asking questions. Okay, I can see Anirudh has already ask questions. Okay, so now let me answer this question. How does travel vitiate Vata, and does fatigue mean Vata proper? Okay, so travel, as I said, movement is something which is being attributed to Vata. So any movement will increase Vata. For example, if you're just sitting idly, your Vata does not pump. You get up and start walking. Okay, your Vata goes up. You probably jog, your Vata goes up even more. You run, it goes even more. Okay, you cycle, it can go even more. So the faster, the more of effort you put in, the faster you move. Okay, your Vata goes up. You're cutting through air. So if you are traveling, probably you would have noticed that when you are traveling by flight, okay, you're actually close to the speed of sound. Okay, it's not supersonic, but close to. When you're traveling that fast and cutting through air, your body suddenly becomes extremely dry. You get dehydrated because why? Because the Vata is actually going up. Okay, so the faster you travel, as I said, movement, the faster you travel, the Vata goes up even more. And fatigue, yes, because of that Vata actually dries up the system. So when your body is dried up, you become denourished, and that's why you get fatigue. Hope that is clear, Anirudh. Okay. Sophia, some easy ways to balance Vata. So you don't have to be scared about Vata. Vata, any movement, as I said, increases Vata. So the more and more you stay within yourself, okay, your Vata is balanced. And if you actually start missing your food, your Vata goes up. Okay, because there's space over here. That space has to, your activities have to happen. And if you don't nourish your body properly, you have got these channels through which nourishment keeps on traveling. And if you don't nourish your body too much, these channels or srotas start getting empty. That means your body starts getting denourished. Vata goes up. Okay, so you have to have your food on time, decent food on time. Okay, and then you have to have not overdo your exercise. If you overdo exercises, your Vata goes up. Moderate exercises. If you don't sleep on time, your Vata starts going up. So three things you have to basically do really well. And then, depending upon the kind of food you eat, don't consume too much of dry food. Okay, let your food be, because it's snigdha, it should be oily, it should be drava. Don't have dry food. Okay, and then genetically, whatever food you are used to, eat that in moderate quantities. Apply oil over the body. A lot of things can be done, but by and large, if your food, your sleep, and your exercises are done on time and moderately, your Vata is kept under control. Off the subject. There is nothing off the subject, Kim, here. You can ask. That's why you said, ask me anything, If I know the answer, I'll answer. I know it's contraindicated to bathe after eating. What about doing a neti pot after eating? I would say any kind of cleansing need not be done immediately after food, because if you are actually expecting to do something, then the metabolism also has to support for that activity to be done properly. Okay, but when you have your food, what happens is blood actually rushes to your tummy. Okay, food and air are two foreign bodies which enter the body on a regular basis. Every few seconds you breathe in, okay, and every couple of hours you eat food. These are two major foreign bodies which enter the body. So wherever a foreign body enters, the body has to take care of it immediately. That's why there the blood supply is extremely high. So in the lungs, blood supply is extremely high. Okay, diffusion, oxygen going this side, carbon dioxide. So a lot of blood supply happening. The moment you eat food, because it's a foreign body, it has to get digested. It has to be taken care of really well. Infections, all those things have to be taken care of. Immediately blood rushes here. That's why after food you feel slightly groggy, So when that is happening, I don't want you to do any cleansing. Do it early morning or wait for about a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours after food to do any kind of cleansing, including neti. Shashikala, yes. Are the cramps in the legs due to Vata dosha? Yes. Okay, if you notice, why do you get cramps? You get cramps because mostly your muscles are fatigued. That means what? It has overworked, and the nourishment of that, but locally, has gone down, right? So what happens? It really dries up and it comes up. So only thing what you have to do is See, the property of Vata Tata Ruksha, it is dry. You have to, and opposite of dry, in English language is wet, but in Ayurveda, opposite of dry is actually oily. Okay, so if you are somebody who is consistently having food which is slightly on, that means mixing ghee with food and having, the chances of you having, but you can't get dehydrated also. So when you take care of that, your muscles will actually get stronger, and mostly it so happens that if that part of the body is actually overworked, you are not used to working that muscle so much, and if that muscle is overworked and denourished, okay, you get cramps. So as I said, having proper food, nourishing yourself, drinking water, and all those things will help you from getting, preventing you from getting cramps. Okay. Another, it's a good question. Okay, to keep the body cool. Okay, it is not easy to keep the body cool during hot days because the weather. You can't fight nature. Let us accept that first. Okay, it is very hot outside. That the only way you can do is that you should see that you don't actually try to generate too much of heat from your body. Okay, yes, you can take shower in cold water, you can sit under the fan. Okay, all those things nowadays people start use ACs, all those things can be done, but what you have to avoid is something which is very, very important. Okay, patu kattu amlas tejet. When I'm telling about grishma ritu or the summer season, patu is salt, kattu is spicy food, and amla is sour foods. These three things, foods you have to avoid, because these three tastes have got Agni Mahabhuta in it. Avoid these three things. Then what? Vyayamas arkas tejit. Avoid exercise and get going and getting exposed yourself directly in the sun. Okay, so these things have to be avoided. I don't say you have to completely avoid exercise, because nowadays, in those days when they wrote the book, they didn't have all these kinds of transportation facilities. For all the day-to-day activities, they had to do a little bit of movement. That was more than enough for them. But now we don't even move. So I would say do exercise mildly. Don't do anything that will increase the heat of your body. No alcohol. Okay, it is completely okay. Madhyam nabeyam. No alcohol at all in summer. So you should understand, okay, these things will actually increase the heat of the body. Let me stay away from them. And whatever things I can do, you can apply chandana paste, you can drink dhania boiled water, and all those things to cool your system down. Muscle pain and stiffness. Muscle pain and stiffness usually comes, Sophia, when, for a normal person, it normally comes when those muscles are not properly exercised. Okay, that doesn't mean that you should start doing severe exercises. No, that's not what I meant. I would say that you have to consistently keep on doing exercises and build that muscle strength. Okay, it's so I'm not. See, I would say, you can do a little bit of resistance training. That means, little bit of weights. You can do walking. You can do stretching. Give muscles there. You have to make muscles go through some resistance so that they become stronger, and the muscle pain and the stiffness actually goes. Stiffness is because you have got in Malayalam we call nirkat. That means you have got that extra kapha coming there because it's too sedentary. The moment you start moving, you have noticed that the moment you start moving, the stiffness goes, and the moment you again become sedentary, that comes back. The kapha again comes back. So you have to do exercises to get that kapha away. Treatments also you can do. Anubhav, I have psoriasis for the past 3 years. I take Panchakarma 1 and Vijay, but it's not giving benefits. Please help me. Yeah, Anubhav, yes, Panchakarma actually works really well in psoriasis. But one thing you have to see, the contributing factors, how consistent you are with your diet. Strict diet has to be followed for severe skin conditions like psoriasis. Okay, that is very important, and your lifestyle also. If you have got too much of stress, and that's a problem. Psoriasis is actually autoimmune condition, and that. Let me tell you that at some given point of time, your immunity was compromised big time. That's the reason why it came up. Okay, so you had to, you would have gone through some really stressful periods in your life. That has to be resolved and taken care of. Nidana parivarjanam chikitsa. In the sense, removal of the causative factor also is treatment. I think your doctor would have told you this, but I would say this is very important. Yes, panchakarma will definitely help you, and it also depends upon how, how much you have been prepared for the panchakarma. Panchakarma is only cleansing, so you can't do the cleansing without preparing the person for the cleansing. So preparing the person for the cleansing is very important. Okay, like snehana, taking ghee in large quantities, and then panchakarma is good. Then what you do after paschat karma, how do you take care of yourself after the what do you call panchakarma also, and then for it to actually subside, how do you do the rasayana therapy after that for long term results. So a lot of factors are there. If you have done these things really well, then definitely we'll see results. Okay, vitamin B12, B3. See, if you're, I'm basically not a great fan of supplements to stay healthy. Okay, but if you're deficient B12 and all thing have gone extremely down, rock bottom, then I would say it's always good for you to take some supplements and then bring it up and then try to maintain it with your food and lifestyle. It is not really good to keep your things so very low. I understand being a Jain, you have got your own restrictions of food and all those things, but I would say, if your levels are very low, critically low, it's always good for you to go for some supplements and bring it back, and then we can maintain it. Or varicose vein, a Vata disorder. Please suggest a Ayurvedic remedies. Okay, Kavita, if you look at it, is basically the flow of blood that is being stopped. Flow is movement. I just said movement. Okay, so the movement of blood, which is supposed to actually come from the extreme parts. If you've got varicose in your legs, the blood from the leg has to actually come up into your heart again to start recycling. So when that movement is restricted, that is because that movement is because of Vata, right? When that movement is restricted and it is stopped or blocked due to some reasons, then you get varicose. Okay, and that block is mainly because it could be because of you have got too much of fat accumulation there, or you stand so much. You're standing so much that the pressure is actually pushing it down. You have got the involvement of kapha and pitta also there in varicose. Okay, so treatment is, yes, you can remove blood from that place and you can relax the pressure. Massage is very good. Pindatailam works in most of the cases, and the massage is actually supposed to be done upwards and not downwards. Okay, and once you have got varicose, then you have to have a decent shift in your lifestyle to stay healthy, Kavita. Lipoma are round fat balls which come on the body. Lipoma is it is fat accumulation. Lipoma is curable only by surgery. For your kind information, Sophia, Ayurveda tells the same thing. You have got a granthi, which is a growth. Ayurveda asks you to cut and remove it. But I would say, since it is not dangerous or something, you can leave it. Cosmetically, yes, it might look bad, but otherwise, it doesn't create any major health issues. But if it is on some joint or some bone or some odd place where it is pressing against your dress and creating pain, then you can surgically remove it, Sophia. Renu, why we hear sounds from the stomach? See, sounds from you see when there is some activity happening in your stomach. Yes, definitely you will hear sounds. And if you have got too much of gas in your tummy, that's where you start hear the guru 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 sound. So that is something which can be taken care of. One is your lifestyle, okay, and second is, see, if for people normally who have got this grumbling sound, are people who are extremely sedentary. They either sit for a longer period of time, or are people who sleep late. Okay, and people who have a lot of junk foods. Okay, people who have a lot of nuts, they create a lot of gas in the tummy, which can actually lead to crumbling sounds. Nothing to worry too much. It is not a major concern. You might feel embarrassed sometimes because you feel that the person standing beside you are hearing to the grumbling sound, but don't be worried, they can't hear it really well. Okay, this can be really handled if your metabolism is actually increased rate. Most welcome him. Okay. uh, Kim, spider veins, they are basically spider veins are not veins, they're venules, we call that, like just like arterioles, you call small arteries. They're very, very small veins, which, in my opinion, no, they need not go to varicose, because normally you don't see them too much below the knee. They are mostly seen in the inside part of the thighs or on the outside, just below the buttocks and all those places. They very, very rarely they actually get into the varicose state. They are not. Okay, don't worry at all. Yes, Karthik, myopia has been mentioned in Ayurveda, and there is a hospital in Kerala. It is a 350 bedded Ayurvedic eye hospital in Kerala, which is dedicated only to treating eye diseases. Okay, when I said eye, might be about 40 kilometers from where I stay. It's called Sridhariyam. Okay, the eye hospital. It's called the Eye of Ayurveda. Okay, they do a great job. Yes, there are different kinds of treatments that we mentioned for myopia. Okay, even hypometropia. Okay, so it is basic. It is something which can be handled, but it's. I don't know what your condition is, to what extreme that condition is, but beginning stages, definitely it can be taken care of. Any home remedy for melasma? Melasma is usually a black discoloration which men and women get on the face as they probably cross 40, 50. Okay, so that discoloration, blackish discoloration, is also because of Vata. Okay, one thing what you can do is you can apply the cream on top of the milk. Okay, add a little bit of triphala into it, make a paste and apply on the face. Okay, do it regularly for a month. What happens with that, it is neither too strong nor too mild. Okay, so what happens with that is initially it'll dry that place up, and you'll see that a lot of blood supply also starts coming. And once blood supply starts coming, you'll see that this will improve a lot. And then the second stage is probably after that only you apply Kumkumadi Thailam, you start seeing results. Initially, if you start applying Kumkumadi Labam without cleansing that place, it doesn't work. Kim, you don't have to do anything with spider veins, because spider vein is generally, again, as I said, it is cosmetic thing. It is not painful, and you don't have to do anything about it. And it normally comes because you have got a little bit more fat than normal. I would say doing regular exercises and pulling down the fat a little bit would actually help people. Okay, it's more cosmetic, if I'm right. Derma roller and minoxidil. Yeah, Satyashil. See, minoxidil. What do you want me to say? Minoxidil is it's a chemical which, when applied on the scalp, it helps a sudden rush of blood onto the scalp. So wherever you drop it, you'll see a sudden rush of blood. So what happens with minoxidil is when there is that sudden rush of blood, you'll have little bit of nutrition also coming. So you will initially see good amount of hair coming up. Okay, but okay, I'm not being negative here, but as long as you use minoxidil, you will see hair on your head. The moment you stop minoxidil, you will see that artificially created blood which comes on the head will actually slow down, and you might again start getting hair loss. And I don't want to say it's your job. You can go and look at the side effects of minoxidil. Okay, it makes a lot of change in your hormones also. It might not be good for you. Okay, so derma roller, yes, you can say certain diseases, certain conditions in Ayurveda where you have got hair loss. Okay, which hair goes in circles. You got the ringworm. Okay, alopecia. So for that, you'll notice that the skin is so hard that the hair roots are there, but the hair roots find it difficult to penetrate through that thick skin. So we scrape it and make it lighter so that the skin comes, so derma roller, which has got really spikes, if it can move on that, yes, the effect is basically the same. So derma roller is something which does not create too much of problem. I don't say no to it. Yes, you can use it, but minoxidil, try to understand your priorities and then start using minoxidil. Some people use gadgets made of kamsa on feet or face. Is it authentic? I think kansa is basically bell metal, if I'm right. Okay, or panchaloha. I don't know. I think it's bell metal. So yes, it has definitely got. I have seen people when they apply a lot of ghee and then they rub at the bottom of the feet and they say it turns black and they say look at the amount of toxin which has been removed from the feet. Okay, it is basically the reaction of the ghee with the metal. Okay, that turns it black. It need not be, the toxins cannot be just sucked from the through the what I call soles like that in just a few minutes. So, but I will tell you that the metal actually is very good, and the movement also actually relaxes your skin really well. I have gone through that when I was in Paris once. It really works well. Okay, so I'm not against it. You can do it. It's authentic or not. It's bell metal has been told in Ayurveda, so you can. You can leave it for an hour before you wash it. Before that, Kavita, I would also say that you can, before actually adding milk into it, you can only apply Triphala Churnam with water and put it on your face. You will see how dry your face goes. It will start sucking everything from within. It actually helps you clean this whole system. And then next you can go with milk cream, and then later you can go with Kumkumati. Okay. Well, Shri, do jade rollers actually work? I have got no idea about jade rollers, Valishri. I don't know what it is. Jade, I know it's a stone. Is it made of that? And where do you use these jade rollers, on the head or on the body, Valishri? I'm not very sure about it. So we can explain. Probably we can go into it. Okay. So that's what so important. Vata is very important. So once you know how to manage Vata, okay, then you will know how to manage a lot of issues. So if when I said Vata can create pain, um, pain can be created when you have got only Vata, so that when there is emptiness or when the channels are empty, you might get a little bit of pain. Pain can also be created when you have got a blockage. So that's basically kapha. When you've got a blockage, also you can get pain. So every pain cannot be managed with some medicine like that. Okay, so you have to know what is the causative factor. So finding that is also, that's the reason why if you are used to seeing patients, you'll know initial stage, yes, this is what it is, so you clean it and then you try to pacify the vata. Okay, so it's stage by stage. Okay, from amavastha, that means you have got kapha, then you get into the pitta stage, and then you get into the vata stage. Okay, jade rollers are okay and used on face. I've got no idea. Okay, so probably I'll have to go through it and get back to you, Valeshri. Okay, jade is, you mean jade is the stone jade? Satyashil, does heavy or heavy amount of food flare up swelling? Yes, definitely. Okay, if the swelling is, most of the swelling are because of kapha. And eating food, and if you eat food in excess, it increases the kapha. Okay, and you become sedentary. Okay, then there is a very, very, very high chance of most swellings, especially generalized swellings, not a swelling because of a sprain or something else, or a hurt or something. No, generalized swelling will go up when you consume too much of food. Okay, and also sleeping in the afternoons. Sleeping in the afternoons is contraindicated if you have got swelling. They also rose. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. Thanks for that, Sophia. Okay, okay. So yeah, it could be good, because they might have found some good quality of good effect when you use a jade or a quartz, or probably diamond also can be used, if I'm right. Then if that's the case, so all those things will definitely have an effect on the skin. But one thing you have to note is that one single thing will need not work for everyone. Okay, if it is a see if it is a there are krudra rogas mentioned in Ayurveda. Krudra roga is something. Krudra means not so important. Rogas are disease, so diseases which are not so important. So those, yes, you can go for generalized treatments, or otherwise if there are other issues, it's always good for you to go for specialized thing, that means which are custom made for you. Ah, okay. Thanks a lot, Kim. Yeah. So rollers are meant to move lymph. Yeah. So lymph is the one which removes a lot of inflammation from the body, and they get drained out. We call that lymphatic drainage. Just like you call blood supplies, and lymph actually drains. So any infection you get, suppose you get an infection here, you'll notice that your lymph nodes here get enlarged. You get an infection here, you see the lymph nodes in your axil area or your armpits, they get enlarged because they are draining all the infection. Okay, so probably when you use those, that means you are actually massaging the face and trying to remove the blockage, right? Yeah, I think it should work. Okay, so any more questions? If not, we can wind up and we can meet next week. So probably next week I can go into Pitta, and the week after that I can go into Kapha. Then we'll see how things are. So you'll have a fair amount of idea about Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Okay. So thank you very much. I'll see you next week, same time at 9 p.m. Okay, Indian Standard Time. Okay. Okay then. Okay. Last but not the least. Okay. Well, you see, yes, menstrual cramps, that cramp feeling and the pain thing is because of Vata. Okay. Just like we said, muscle twitches, muscle cramps you get in the feet, you get the same cramps in your uterus because uterus is also made of a muscle. That's the reason why you get cramps there also. That is because of 100% because of Vata. Okay. Pittas are also involved because of the menstrual flow, but the pain and the cramp is because of Vata. Okay. Good night.